morning part.
Missed the morning.
Morning was like life is meditation, but later on we did other things.
Right. I like the description of the passive and active meditation that you gave, and it just helped to remember all of that stuff again.
Yes.
I enjoyed being with everyone.
Yes.
Um,
Could you have a guest?
have a guest. His name is Armand. Armand, do you want to say something?
Can you walk on your hands? You can?
You can?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Maybe.
He's in first grade. He's graduating first grade.
Yes.
First grade. Wow, you're big.
Yeah.
I bet you're one of the biggest kids in the class, aren't you? You're not?
Third?
You're the third biggest.
Third biggest.
I know you're big. First grade? He's the size of my son. He's in third grade. How old are you? 7? 6? 7? Wow.
And some of you came late, but with workshop we took group picture I put on Facebook. So some of you watch it and it came out good. So instead of taking individual people to be able to take group picture, that would be for future.
Okay.
So you'll see it. Okay. Nick, you want to bring out something?
I enjoyed the workshop, and I enjoyed doing a video of everybody. I enjoyed watching everybody's interest in everything that we talked about.
Yes.
And that's what I was trying to do when I was filming. I was trying to film all the people that seemed like they were really drawn into what we were talking about.
Yes. Yes.
And I always enjoy the food, like we always have at the end,
Yes.
at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And
I took picture of people eating and little small
people of
video
everybody
also.
eating and everything.
Yes.
And it's just something that I've been doing for, I don't know how many years it's been now. I've been coming to these workshops, but to me it's like a one-day retreat, just away from the rest of the world,
Yes, and the way we do is spontaneous. It's just nothing structured. Like each class is spontaneous, depending what comes. So it's just collective energy. That is called satsang, sangha, and that is what brings the sanskara up. Even right now, like though you are listening this, everyone is engaged, and when you are engaged, some transformation takes place. It's subtle way. So sanskaras are really released. So you're purifying, so things will happen. Okay. Good. And anything else comes first into topic? Let's do a little bit of stretching.
I was going to say something about fears again, because what I notice about fears, if it's possible to for example, let's just say you're not talking to your mother or something. You guys have been fighting for a year or two and you haven't talked to her, and you really want to call her. You know what I mean? You got to sometimes force yourself to face that fear. That's all I'm saying. You got to give yourself a little kick.
Yes.
And go, okay, I have this fear, and even and I'm going to use this idea. If you're fighting with somebody, you just call up and apologize, not for anything particular. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, it sounds weird, but you call up and say, hey Mom, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? We're sorry for fighting. You don't have to say you're sorry because you did this wrong or that wrong. I'm just sorry for fighting, period. And that sometimes, if you come in a little humble, this one guy came into my shop and I thought it was funny. He came in and there was a broken piece of jewelry, and it was broken in a different spot. And it really hit me hard because he came in and he said, this is broken in the same spot. And I said, all right, well, let me take a look, because if it was broken in the same spot, I'd fix it for free. So I looked. It took me a while, and I said, no, it's broken right next to that spot. Because if jewelry breaks, it breaks in a continual spot. It won't break in the same spot, but I just fixed it almost 100% of the time. So he walked in adamant, and then he walked out. He didn't know what to do. He was trying to show people on the street. It was funny, right? So I said, so he walked in with this attitude, so he walked in angrily. In order for him to walk back into my shop, he would have had to have some humility. So I wrote one in my book. I forget the exact saying. So my point was, so he had this intensity about him, and he wanted to get something accomplished. He knew he was right and he was wrong, and now he'd have to face even more fears. He'd have to come back and face this new fear of saying he was wrong. He'd have to be humble. But he'll never, probably won't come back. So, anyway, something to do with fears. I notice I'm trying to show people my book or whatever, and I wanted to call a couple numbers, and I'm looking at the numbers today, and I'm scared, and I'm like, oh, you're scared. Oh, that's good. You know what I mean? Because you're scared. In order to get over it, I have to do it.
Face it.
There's no way around to build confidence unless if you do it. So something to do with
Yes. So
facing it somehow.
fear of facing. Okay, that's several facts. Fear of facing. I wrote in my biography. So many times people cannot afford. I do something for them always, and then I don't expect anything. But because they have accepted it, they feel guilty. Even if I call them back, they feel guilty
Right.
because they have done something wrong. Even the guest house I face all the time. Even the lady yesterday, while I was
Yeah,
doing
while we're in
workshop,
groups,
she
you come walking
was
in.
in this and that, and I took her because she's middle age. I wanted less money, single person. She wanted yoga, so I gave her yellow book for free. But people have problem and they blow at you. This is dirty, this dirty. I need new air conditioner. I said, we don't provide air conditioner. This, that, and finally I found out it's not broken this. And she cooled down, she understands it. Then they remember, how badly they treated me. They treat you so badly, like you are a criminal or this, that.
Right.
They throw all it, and then later on they feel sorry. So I don't let them feel sorry.
Oh, okay.
Even you remember that guy who had a syndrome, post-war syndrome?
Downstairs, yeah.
Yeah, he was so
PTSD.
mad, he just
Yeah.
could not believe. I said, I have a hard time dealing with him. Because, I can let him go, I can lose money, but these people are... Next day he was so nice, he was sorry and this and that. So all these things happen. Thinking about fear, Patanjali says, I think in this book I have written, in the translation, the fear of death is present in a dumb people or dumb animals to evolve spiritual master. So fear of death is present in everyone, okay, in subtle ways. So that doesn't go away until one gets total depression. But degree of fear we can remove. So if you have deep fear of death, then it will reflect fear of somebody harming you, somebody robbing you, somebody losing the job, this thing happened there. All those fears are secondary fears of death.
I think the fear of death too also is tied into the hurry-worry thing.
Yes.
If you look at it, when I had my passing out, I passed out at this New Year's and had some experiences. Anyway, long story short, I don't hurry and worry as much because I know now I'm going to die. Before I just thought I might. And it was a big difference. It was a big difference, a huge difference.
Yes.
And yeah, the acceptance of it. Now I know it's going to happen. And something I just wanted to say one more thing.